He, 28M, called off his engagement after I, 27F, saved his life. I met my boyfriend when I found him barely conscious in a wrecked car. While we waited for help to arrive, I started rambling because I didn't want him to lose consciousness. After the ambulance took him away, I kept wondering if he was okay, but I had no way to find out. He ended up finding me on Facebook 3 months later. Despite the weird start, our relationship has been going really well. We're extremely different, but it seems to work for us. 2 days ago, I received a message from a woman who claimed to be his fiancée from before the accident. She accused us of having an affair and told me I ruined her life. I knew he was engaged at one time and that it ended, but I didn't know it ended so recently after we met. I asked him and he told me that he ended it after I saved him because it wasn't right for him to marry her when all he could think of was a different woman. He did say there was no overlap between our relationship and theirs. He said he didn't even reach out to me until they had been broken up for a month. The purpose of the post and what I need advice for is that she's now asking me to meet up with her so she can get closure / compare notes. I don't know if I should. Any advice? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend broke up with his ex-fiancée after I saved his life. She's accusing us of having an affair and wants to meet up so I can give her closure. I would not meet up with her. I would give her the timeline as you know it via Messenger, just to help her process better. I do feel badly for her. I'm not really comfortable meeting up. I'm sorry for any pain our relationship might be causing you. We met the night of the accident when I came across his car. My next contact with him was when he found me via social media on April 3rd. We met up for a coffee on the 14th where he thanked me for my help. We didn't start dating until the following January. I hope this clears up any questions you have. If you need more clarification, please talk to him about it. My guess is she wants clarity that the two of you were not together when she was engaged to him. This comment in her message is what tips it off. She accused us of having an affair and told me I ruined her life. Suspect that your BF probably told her shortly after the accident that he wanted to call off the engagement and that he had feelings for you. The fiancée probably could not wrap her head around how he could throw away their relationship for a random woman and instead assumed that the two of you had already had a relationship before the accident and he was cheating on her. Now she probably wants verification and closure. Honestly, it's still not a good idea to meet in person. You don't know this woman at all or how stable she is. If she needs closure, do it over the phone or Facebook messages. Yeah, if she's saying things like you ruined my life, then meeting her could range from a cup of coffee and clearing the air to a double homicide suicide. Plus there is zero reward for meeting her. Emo not worth it. Well, this is complicated. He's clearly got some issues to work on, be it that he thinks he owes you his life, that he's seeing you as his personal savior, damn me, now I have Depeche Mode, personal Jesus in my head, or just in a daze with personal epiphanies about what he does / doesn't want, or a mix of some / all of that. Be careful here, he could be obsessed with you, or just running through the streets panicking, metaphorically. He could come to his senses at any time or never, so be prepared for the same / more abrupt behavior from him. Now as for the woman, I think you meeting her is a terrible idea. There's literally no good that can come of it. She may try and sour your relationship, or just be generally depressing and try and lay guilt on you. If she has factual questions about the timeline or what happened that day, and you don't mind answering, do so via email and cut contact. Unless they have kids and you'll need to be in contact, just don't. Good luck. I think you will need it. This has nothing to do with Ops Post, but I just want as many people as possible to know that my sister used to think that the lyrics "Your own personal Jesus" was your own personal cheese sauce. I don't think you should meet her. If you want to, offer to speak with her on the phone or say you'll answer questions via chat. I am also highly suspect of this relationship. I think he formed an unhealthy attachment to you as a result of his trauma. Did he ever go to therapy after his accident? My 28F husband's 31M family friend 30F has been trying to drive me away for the last 3 years, and I think she finally won. I've been married for 5 years. The first 2 years were amazing, but then we moved closer to his family and things started going downhill. My husband has a family friend, Serena, who is very close to his mother and sister-in-law, so she's always around. She doesn't like me, but she pretends to whenever my husband is around. She's incredibly manipulative and I was too stupid to see it in the beginning. I thought she was my friend, but now we're at a point where if I say anything I just look like the boy who cried wolf. There are so many instances that I can mention, but I'm only going to mention a few that I think are important. My husband was away from home more than he was home. Serena started implying to me that my husband was cheating. She said he had a history of womanizing and that just because I was his wife, nobody was expecting him to remain faithful, but she was telling me because we were friends. I tried really hard to ignore her, but when someone is constantly whispering things in your ear, you start to wonder. I eventually confronted him, and it didn't end well. That caused a huge crack in our relationship and he started becoming more closed off. There were other instances where she would tell me my in-laws liked this or that, knowing that if I did those things, I would offend them and embarrass my husband. She would tell me things like everyone was saying that my husband wouldn't have married me if he hadn't got me pregnant and that he acted too rash by marrying me so quickly. I ended up miscarrying, and that he would pay for that mistake for the rest of his life. It made me feel like my in-laws all hated me and also like they were happy that I miscarried, so I started withdrawing from them. Eventually, I realized what her game was, and I started telling my husband, but he never believed me. It was always I've known her all my life, she wouldn't do that or say that. It also didn't help that she was whispering in his ear too and he believed her. Our relationship is very rocky now. I found out I was pregnant again 3 months ago. We only recently told everyone, and Serena made a comment about how she hopes I can do it right this time. I was so beyond furious and upset. When we got home my husband asked me why I looked sad, and I just had this horrible realization that I couldn't even tell him because he wouldn't believe me. So now I think I'm done. I know it's not the best time to decide to walk away, what with a baby on the way, but I don't want to keep being a doormat. I love my husband very much, but I can't be in a marriage with 3 people, especially when it's 2 on 1. I don't know what my next steps should be. 1. Do I tell my husband now and give him one last chance? I've never really laid it out before because I thought if I was quiet, he would realize I wasn't the problem and that she was lying. 2. What type of things do I need to make sure I have prepared before leaving? 3. Should I wait until I'm financially independent? I haven't worked since getting married because my husband wanted me to be a suhu. 4. If people ask, should I be honest about Serena's involvement or keep the details private? Thank you in advance for the help! Exclamation mark. Too long didn't read. My husband's family friend has been causing issues in our relationship for the past 3 years in an attempt to drive me away. I've finally had enough and want to walk away. Talk to your husband and tell him exactly what was said. Tell him you love him, but he obviously doesn't love you enough to protect you from this woman and her BS. Tell him you're leaving with the baby and you hope that one day he'll choose to be a good husband and father and do what's right, but right now you feel like the woman has driven you away and he let her. Pack your things and stay with family. He has already shown an unwillingness to listen to you, so he doesn't have much choice here. He either cuts her off completely and blocks her, or he loses his wife and child. Captain Bloody Obvious says, I highly recommend relationship counseling before you let this toxic shit stain win. Stop being quiet and voice your concerns. He's your husband, you are carrying his child and he needs to listen. If you are dead set on leaving, first get your ducks in a row and be financially stable. That way you will be able to completely close the door in order to heal. If people ask, you should always be honest, but only to the people that deserve your trust. Also, never, ever be alone with Serena ever again. Hopefully, you and your husband can move farther away from his family and get Serena out of your lives. She is playing a game with you, And by keeping quiet and not expressing your thoughts and feelings to your husband and family, you are letting her win. Stand up loud, tell her to mind her business and make her rude comments aware to those who are close to you. She is saying these things quietly because she knows you will not say anything. She is a bully and needs to be put in her place. Let you husband know what you will accept and not accept, as well as this lady. She must be so unhappy in her life she has to try and get some joy by making others feel miserable. 2. A sad life, for sure. Keep your head held high, put her in her place, or leave them all in your dust and be better off. You need to sit him down and tell him everything and then give him a choice. He can believe you, his pregnant wife, or someone who is neither family, nor true friend. She's in love with him, by the way. I mean, based on what you've said that seems pretty obvious. I'm also a little concerned that you quit your job because he wanted you to be a suhu. I'm horribly sorry for your miscarriage, but he basically left you at home to grieve with nothing to do all day to take your mind off of it. This is not a stable environment to have a baby in. Is there anywhere you can go if things go south, like stay with your family? Because you need somewhere to go if you leave. I know she is. I can go stay with my parents, but they live far away, so it would be hard to co-parent. After the third time, I would just have had my phone set on record in my pocket. This isn't the 1500s, you can use technology to get this shit stain out of your life, or stop hanging out with her. My 29F, X, 30M, gave me a huge monetary gift for my birthday, and my boyfriend, 32M, is demanding I give it back even though I could really use the money right now. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We didn't fight often, but since my ex has been back in my life, we've been fighting a lot. I have a 4-year-old son with my ex. He didn't meet him until 2 years ago. My boyfriend really hates my ex. Admittedly, it's not completely unwarranted. My ex kissed me when he first came back into my life, and he is really cold towards my boyfriend. He has also told me that my boyfriend isn't good enough for me or our son. I have had a word with him and he's gotten much better, but there's still some lingering tension between the two. My birthday was a few days ago and my ex gave me a huge monetary gift. He said it was to make up for the years he wasn't there to support our son. I tried to return it to him, but he kept insisting I keep it, and my financial situation hasn't been great recently, so I did. Told my boyfriend yesterday and he blew up. He told me to give the money back right now and got very angry at me over it. We had an argument and he stormed out. He hasn't been responding to my calls or texts. What do I do? Too long didn't read. X, who I share a son with, gave me a huge monetary gift for my birthday. My BF got mad and told me to give it back. We had an argument and now he's ignoring me. Make it clear to both your boyfriend and your ex that you are only accepting the money as back child support, not as a birthday gift. It sounds like the ex wants you back and he's trying to drive a wedge between you and your boyfriend. Set clear and strict boundaries with the ex and let your boyfriend know about them. Your ex is going to be part of your life, like it or not, for the next 14 years minimum because of your child. He should not be allowed to damage your relationship. Your boyfriend is going to be jealous with what's going on. Try to be supportive and understanding. It's not a comfortable situation for anyone, except it is a birthday gift and he is driving a wedge between her and her boyfriend and he is being allowed to damage her relationship. Someone below said I bet he owes a lot more than that if she pursues it legally. He 100% needs to pursue it legally. That's the answer, and it automatically sets boundaries for him and lets him know right where he stands and who is calling the shots. As it is right now, this guy is spitting all over her current relationship and she's letting him.